Now, Chopin writes it, and keep in mind he wants to use a lot of chromatic movement. That's kind of the net. Like I always talk about tennis and the net is the thing to overcome. So he sets up his own problem about chromaticism. Right now that he writes it, he says, that's good, people like this, I get a lot of requests for it, it's good. Let's analyze it and see what happened. What key are we?
E minor.
E minor. Starts with a first inversion tonic triad. So remember, he's a romanticist, so starting with a first inversion, he's not even giving you the solid tonic triad, it's first inversion. But that also helps him with the chromatic movement. The melody, so, there's a half step. So the more, you see the chromatic movement in the melody. So the melody is either half steps or whole steps until it gets to the very final cadence there. So first measure, tonic triad, first inversion, the C would be circled to be a neighbor tone. No problem. Second measure, what's the first chord? A C in F sharp, a C in A, a C in E, a C in B. Something's got to be a non-chord. We can't stack that in thirds. Dominant would be B, D sharp, F sharp. Dominant 7 would have an A.
Dominant 7?
Is it a subdominant? A, C, E? The F non-chord tone?
The F sharp non-chord tone.
It's in a bass, or do you have a bass non?
Dominant 7?
See, the problem is we're trying to leave out notes. What's the non-chord tone? But no matter what. What if we consider the B natural to be the non-chord tone? That's kind of hard to do, but just looking at the left hand, what would F sharp, A, and E imply? Diminished, but not diminished 7 would be E minor, so supertonic. Supertonic would be half diminished 7. Implied because there's no C in there. But since it does go to C at the end of the measure, we can make a real vague, hard to support thing like, well, the C is the chord tone even though the chord changes by then.
Yeah.
He makes our ear want to hear the C. So we could kind of stretch that and call it a supertonic half diminished 7. Now we're only in the second measure and we're already really stretching it. So the last half of the beat, the E to the E flat, well, that would become a fully diminished 7. F sharp, A, C, E flat. And then when the C comes in, it actually would make a supertonic fully diminished 7 when the C comes in. So, okay, we can stretch it that far. That's pretty good. Third measure.
To the B natural.
Yeah. Now we have F, A, E flat in the left hand, but a B natural. And once again, something's got to be a non-chord tone because there's no way we can put even if we consider it a C flat, that doesn't really make a triad. We need a C to make a triad. So again, let's ignore the melody for a moment, the B natural. We have F, A, and E flat. So that could imply
Supertonic.
say loud.
A change of mode, yeah.
Yeah, change.
Oh no, because it'd be F.
It is already minor. We're already in E minor. So if we imagine a C in there, we have F, A, C, E flat. What's the quality of that one?
Like dominant 7.
Dominant 7. So it's a 5, 7 of. Now we're in trouble again because what would it be a 5, 7 of?
5 of 5. B, D, F. Oh, but it's F.
Yes.
Oh,
ah,
man!
Chopin! Ah! If you weren't dead, we'd kill you.
BDF. Oh my gosh.
But it would be like a 5/7 of a flat 5 of a lower dominant, which doesn't make any sense. I agree. But if we're trying to find a chord, that seems to be, I mean, it is F, A, C, E flat. It just doesn't make any sense in E minor.
A 5 of a lower 5?
Are you allowed to do that?
No. But we're going to find out what's going on here. So if we go on now to the second half of the measure, F, A, D. Now there we get a minor triad. D, F, A with the B at the top. So there'll be B, D, F, A. That's a half diminished 7 of not of tonic.
No,
B,
dominant.
F,
Dominant.
It's just the dominant, right?
No,
In
Meet
E minor.
again.
it would be a 7 half diminished 7, B, D, F, A. B is the root. Would you go up a half step?
C.
No, up a half.
C.
C, what's C in E minor?
6.
6, it's submedian. So best we could do here would be a 7 half diminished 4/3 of 6. Oh, wow. Well, it gets worse. Okay, let's just say that all along the way we're having trouble figuring out why these chords are the way they are. Yet a moment ago when I played it, we all kind of agreed it really works quite well. Now in measure 4, the author says, well, here's a 5/7 of 4 in the key of E minor. E, G sharp, B, D. That is a 5/7 of 4 in E minor, so it makes sense. Nothing else makes sense until measure 9, where we have a subdominant first inversion.
So he's in E minor and uses an E major triad?
Well, you can do that. 5 of 4, 5/7 of 4. Now, here's what's happening, and listen very carefully as to why this works. Chopin kind of stumbled upon this. You're moving chromatically as the different parts. I use the term melting. It's almost like this part melts a half step down, or this part melts a half step up. It just kind of slowly moves into this other chord. Because it's half step and a whole step, we hear the steps moving. Our brains hear it as logical, even though the analysis isn't logical. A 5/7 of a flat 5 doesn't make any sense. But the fact that all of these moving half steps actually formed a chord, our brains are happy with that. It's like we accept that it actually formed a chord. Now, this would be a late romantic thing. If you're analyzing something late romantic, Chopin did this a lot. Hint, whenever you analyze Chopin, look for this. Liszt might have done it quite a bit. Wagner did it. A lot of the late romantics did this. Here's how it's analyzed. It's actually very easy to analyze once you figure out what's happening.